And we are back. Another episode of Light Sports Breakdown with me, LSB. NBA playoffs are here. First round has come and gone. We're in the semifinals for both conferences. 8 teams remain, and we're only one more series after this before the NBA Finals. And then a champion will be crowned, and it's very exciting. A lot of upsets in the first round. We're going to dive into that a little bit with each of these matchups before, and then we'll pick and choose and predict who we think is going to win this series. So we're starting off with the Eastern Conference first. Let's get into it. Obviously, the first matchup is between the number 2 seed Brooklyn Nets and the number 3 seed Milwaukee Bucks. The Brooklyn Nets had to go through an injury-riddled Boston Celtics team. They lost Jaylen Brown due to a wrist injury, and he was gone for the season. And it was honestly up to Kemba Walker and Jason Tatum to keep their season alive. And they did it for one more game, but it took a 50-point performance by Jason Tatum, and the series concluded in 5 games. The Nets had too much firepower for the Celtics to handle, and they advanced. KD, Kyrie, and James Harden, the 3-headed monster. They're looking like the favorite to come out of the East, but they're one of the 3 teams I can honestly see making it to the finals, but that's besides the point. They're a really good team. They're really fun to watch. They have a really good offense. Blake Griffin has come alive for them. That has contributed after a couple of sluggish seasons with the Detroit Pistons, and he's motivated to win that chip. And the Nets have a very good starting lineup. They have a decent bench that can keep them going while the starters are off the floor. So it's very hard to beat this team in 3 games. The Celtics were able to get 1, so you got to give them props because a lot of people were writing them off, saying that they were going to get swept, but Jason Tatum is a superstar, and he proved it. But it proved to be not enough, and Kemba Walker could not contribute enough to, substitute for the loss of Jaylen Brown. But we went into the Nets and the Celtics. The Nets ended up advancing, and now let's talk about the Bucks. Their previous series was against my Miami Heat, and they got their revenge. They swept the Heat in 4 games. The Heat had their chance to win Game 1. It slipped away. They had missed opportunities and a lot of bad shots. The Bucks proved that they were the superior team this year. The Heat obviously played better last year and upset them, but the key acquisitions of Jrue Holiday and Bobby Portis to kind of replace Eric Bledsoe and Robin Lopez have paid dividends. Giannis is, he's the Greek freak. He's won the MVP twice. He's the Defensive Player of the Year last year. Kris Middleton has been an underrated superstar, co-superstar for him. And the addition of Jrue Holiday, who is multidimensional, he can shoot the ball, he can pass, he's good on offense, and he's really good on defense. He's like one of the guys that makes you really work for it, and he's really good at defense, and he's proven that over the years, especially during his time in the Sixers and with the Pelicans. But now he has a chance to go after that chip, and they proved to be too much for the Heat. The Heat had a lot of issues this season, and Jimmy and Bam, they just didn't have it this year. Ultimately, it was the Bucks' 3-point shooting and their bench that separated them. But I'm very upset that the Heat lost, but, it's the name of the game. You win some, you lose some. Last season was a magical ride, but this season, it's anybody's opportunity to get the crown. So I'll take that too. I mean, I would have liked the Heat to win, but that's besides the point. Okay, so now the Nets and the Bucks face off in this series, and both have really good benches. They both have big threes: Kyrie, KD, Harden, Middleton, Holiday, and Giannis. Obviously, not big market names aside from Giannis. So an underrated big three against the three-headed monster big three that is they just have all three of them individually have Hall of Fame careers on the Nets. But with that all in mind, they both have really good benches, and it's very tough for me to pick this series, but I'm going with Brooklyn to win this in 6 games. I wouldn't be upset if it went 7, but I just think the Nets have too much firepower, and Kyrie and KD are giving me vibes of when he was playing with LeBron James. Just they're perfect for each other. They just know where they need to set each other up and where they both excel on the floor. So I'm picking the Nets in 6.